having the time of your life every day. Finding leads, making money, selling your services is very different. So I highly, highly encourage you, test it out before you make the jump so that you know that you actually like it. And you may find it's not for you and you just want to make a career pivot. So it's a great learning experience too.
Yeah, one of the things you just talked about too, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs kind of Hello, Empower Nation. Welcome to Empower Her Money podcast. I'm your host, Angela Duncan. Today's episode, I get to interview money coach Annie Cole. She's going to share her journey from corporate America to entrepreneurship. She's going to give you some amazing tips on how to make that transition successfully. We're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about budget. We're going to talk about tracking. She has an incredible new book coming out, and she's going to share those details with you. Check out this episode. Hi, Annie. Welcome to Empower Her Money podcast.
Hi, so great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes, awesome. So we've got a lot to cover on this podcast, but I would love for you to first start telling the audience kind of your backstory and how you got to where you're at today.
Sure. So right now I'm Annie Cole. I'm a money coach and I just started my financial coaching business this year. But before that, I spent the last 4 years working at a startup nonprofit company. And I was promoted all the way up to the vice president of their data and research team. So I have a data background. I have my doctorate in education research, have done a ton of data analytics, and really fell in love with both business and finance. And so this year was the perfect time to kind of make that transition and move into doing some consulting work and some coaching work and just dabbling in entrepreneurship a little bit, which has been so much fun.
Yeah, so corporate background, very familiar with that myself as I came from a corporate background, and sometimes doing that transition from that corporate background to entrepreneurship. Let's start there. Let's talk about, that transition and kind of maybe some ideas on how you prepared and then when you made the jump and, what can you teach some of the audience about that transition?
Sure. So I think for a lot of people, myself included, it's a big jump when it comes to your finances. You're thinking a lot about, can I still pay the bills? Am I taking a risk here? I'm very type A. I'm a planner. I'm not someone who likes to take risks. So if you're like me, listen in. So I definitely did not just quit my job cold turkey and have no plan. I thought about it a lot. I really, leading up to quitting my job, I was saving a lot. I was investing a lot. I already had a lot of money set aside. So I felt like for me, it was a safe time with a lot of a safety net to be able to make a move if some emergencies came up or if I wasn't making a lot of money. So that was really important in the preparation stage. And then I also just felt ready working in that startup environment, learning a lot about business to know what kind of steps I needed to take to set myself up for success. So what was I going to offer as a service? How would I find leads? How would I get paid? I've also been able to set up a consulting contract with my old work so that I still have guaranteed income coming in so that I can gently move into this new work. And then if possible, I would say definitely start building out whatever it is you think you want to do while you're still working. Some people just do not like entrepreneurship. It's a lot of work. It's not just working for yourself, having the time of your life every day. Finding leads, making money, selling your services is very different. So I highly, highly encourage you, test it out before you make the jump so that you know that you actually like it. And you may find it's not for you and you just want to make a career pivot. So it's a great learning experience too.
Yeah, one of the things you just talked about too, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs kind of overlook that, but if you are leaving a career or a corporate job, you could potentially still be a contractor for hire to help advise them on some of the roles that you did. Because when you hire a replacement, it's very difficult to download everything in your brain, especially if you've been with that company for a long time, right?
Yes, exactly. And because my work was leadership and I was doing a lot of research grants, I still have so much information about those key grants. So I've been able to still be a part of those grants, support the work, be low touch in that environment, and still stay connected to the network of people that I love so much while also going out and dabbling. So, if you're someone that's thinking about going out on your own, think Could you consult or contract with your current company? Could you go part-time? Could you do some gig work or freelance work so that you just start to have some sort of income set up so you can lessen your hours and then go into the entrepreneurship? So it's just not such a stark, I'm going to quit and hope for the best.
Yeah, win-win for the employer too, because they get to still have your knowledge and expertise. And like you said,
Yes.
there have been plenty of entrepreneurs that got into the role thinking they want to run their own business, and it just wasn't the right fit for them. And they go back, and that's
Yep.
okay too. So don't burn that bridge. But going back doesn't mean you're failing at something. It just means it wasn't the right skill set.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. So when you're first launching your entrepreneur and you're going into it, let's say you're ready, you're going full time, you've been working on it a little bit. What are some key things that you feel like it's important for, a business owner to pay attention to, especially early on?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I have a book that's coming out in any day now, fingers crossed. I'm just waiting for the publisher to approve the print. And one of the things I included in there, it's 101 ways to build wealth in your 30s. And one of them, the chapters talks about side hustles and starting a business. And it's just a 3-page mini business plan. So, when you're thinking about going on your own, you really want to get, number one, crystal clear on who it is that you're serving, because you don't want to serve everyone. You probably will serve, potentially women or a certain age group or people who are experiencing a certain problem. And then from there, build out whatever your service is that's specifically meeting that need. So let's say you want to go into life coaching. You probably aren't just going to throw out life coaching to anyone, right? But if you get more specific and you think, I want to work with moms who have little kids that are about to go off to kindergarten, the moms want to start doing something from home now and they're not sure what it is. I'm going to do kind of like life career reintegration coaching specifically for moms, and I'm going to have it be local because I want to have a community aspect where we meet up. Think about the people you're serving, the specific need you want to meet, how you want to have your service built, and then from there, there's so much good information online about how to then market your services, connect with people, and then actually feel comfortable selling your services. So that can get very technical, and there's lots of strategies that you can find online. But if you start with those first key pieces of the who, the problem, and the solution, you'll get really far.
Yeah, dialing it down into a niche is a great piece of information too, especially
Yeah,
starting off on your entrepreneur journey and people ask you what you do. Well, I'm a life coach. They have no idea if they need you or who they can refer to you, but when you're more specific, like you just did,
yeah.
and you dove into those details, it's really easy for you to find that client or have someone refer that client instead of having such a broad topic.
Yes. And I think people also feel like you have to reinvent the wheel and come up with something really amazing and incredible. The example I gave in the book, I came up with on the spot because I wanted to challenge myself to think of something really random and boring just to prove a point. And so I give this example of someone who is a counselor and wants to specifically help people fall asleep at night. And so truly, you could come up with a 5-minute meditation that uses psychology research that helps people fall asleep at night. Your target audience is executives who have a racing mind, they're busy all day, and you say, hey, you don't have to take any medication if you don't want to do that. It's only going to take you 5 minutes. You follow this on your phone and you're good to go. And so, it truly could be the smallest solution or a big solution. It could be a big population or a small market. There's so many things that you could create and help people with.
Yeah. When it comes to money on entrepreneurs, I see all spectrums. I'm sure you do too. Some people don't spend any money and they think they have to wait until they become profitable. Some people spend too much money. Maybe they're spending money on ads or hiring too many employees at the same time. What have you seen some kind of mistakes that you would say to avoid as a new business owner?
I definitely think it's important to spend wisely. I've invested in a lot of coaching and mentors. I always have a specific outcome in mind. So when I'm meeting with someone to see if they're a good fit for me, I'm asking them for testimonials and references, and I'm really getting crystal clear. For example, I'm currently working with someone who's a PR specialist, and my goal is specifically to have, 4 to 6 major media publications that I can put on my site. So that was the goal of working with this person versus I just want help to make my business better. It's going to be really hard to know if the person can actually help you. So get really clear. And then also know that there's so much available online for free. Definitely tap into all the free stuff before you pay. Do not pay for ads or try to get your business out there if you also don't know your business is honed in first. Try it with free media. Talk to your friends about your service, post some free social media posts and see if you get any bites. If you don't, you really want to make sure that's honed in first. So keep tweaking it. And then once you find something that's amazing, I just listened to a podcast from Alex Ramosi, and he talks about this a ton. Get your messaging right, then blow it up with ads. But if you just try to put your service everywhere with the wrong message, it's not going to do any better. So do all the free stuff first, then pay to accelerate your growth, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that too. It's making sure that your concept is needed. Does it solve a
Yeah.
problem? And then you can start spending money on it. So that's great advice there.
Yeah.
Being the money coach, I think also a lot of time entrepreneurs, they forget to actually track their income or expenses and
Yeah.
talk about how important that is and what you tell your clients.
Yes, it is so important, and it doesn't have to be burdensome. So at the very, very minimum, I'm all about making things easy so that we're not focused on money. We're just living our life and we have clear systems that are easy to implement. So what I do personally, and I have this spreadsheet that I share with all of my clients, you have a spreadsheet where you have 3 different tabs. One is going to be your profit and loss sheet. So it's just every single month you go in, you write down all of the expenses. Either you go into your bank account to look at them, or you go into your stand store or wherever, write down the money that came in, write down the things you spent money on. Easy peasy. The second thing you have is more holistically your income and expenses based on line items. So for a month, I might say, oh, I did this much in coaching, but I only did this much on my online programs. And I'm hearing a lot that people really want something on X. So maybe I'll create a mini course on that and launch it this next month. So you can track which products are actually selling the best. And then the third thing is more KPI. So that would be key performance indicators that are telling you where the holes are in your business. So lead generation, how many leads did I get last month? If I got 100 leads, how many of them booked a call? 20 of them. Okay, and then how many actually converted to sales? 2 of them. So I had a lot of leads, but they didn't get a lot of calls. And then from the calls, they didn't get a lot of conversion. How can I pinpoint how to improve those 2 pieces? That one's the most critical for growth. And then the first 2 are just critical for cash flow and making sure you're profitable.
Yes, we come into the entrepreneurial world not necessarily for free or to work for free. So you definitely need to be able to pay attention to your numbers and understand what your profitability is, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
One of the things that you touched on, and I think, as a business owner starts to grow, depending on, what industry they're on, online courses seem to be, something that can be overwhelming. It sounds overwhelming, but it could be a good revenue generator as well, right?
Yes, absolutely. So I feel really thankful that the last 4 years I did get to work at that startup company, and they specifically created online courses for teachers. And one of the things that they had in testimonials all the time that was so cool, they would teach teachers in the classroom how to record their lectures on video so that kids could watch the lectures at their own pace. And then the teacher was freed up, and the teachers would say, I feel like I've cloned myself. I can walk around and work with students individually now. And so when I went out on my own, I thought, this is so awesome. What about all the one-on-one coaches out there who feel their schedule is booked, they don't have enough time, but they get asked the same questions all the time? This is a great time if you're a one-on-one coach to turn your frequently asked questions into modules that are actually a course, and then have your supplemental conversations in like a group coaching program or a 1-hour one-on-one a week. But you don't have to take the time to just answer the same thing over and over and over. So I think that's where online courses can be wonderful. It's not so much that you're just creating something to throw it out there and hope people buy it, but it's really answering the frequently asked questions in a way that's accessible.
And pricing sometimes I think is difficult too, because you want to, make money, help generate revenue for your company for those courses, but you also don't want to make them too expensive. And I think as women, especially, we have a hard time putting value or a dollar amount on figuring out how do you price out your courses for people.
Yeah, I have read so many different things on pricing models and how to price yourself. I honestly don't have one opinion on it. I think one thing I've done for myself is calculated my hourly rate based on my education and work experience. And so I can find if I put this many hours into something, this is what it should cost. I'm rarely charging my hourly rate because I do want to make things more accessible. But I know other people who are charging thousands for their online courses. So it's personal too.
Yes. I love that you wrote a book. It's great, giving out information. What kind of inspired you to decide to write the book?
I was inspired. I don't know if I have it. I have so many books on my desk. There was this amazing book called Nice Girls Don't Get the Corner Office. Can't think of the author's name, but she's great. She's written a few books that I've read, and it was written almost checklist style, where it had 100 different ways that women make tiny mistakes that can keep them from getting promoted and get paid as much as men in the workplace, which I loved. And they were short chapters. Chapter 1 is 2 pages, chapter 2 is 2 pages. So I thought, why not do the same thing with finances? Because I want women to wake up and think, I have 100 different ways that I could make the most of my money today. Not, oh, I wish I could make more, but I have no idea. I feel stuck. All I know is my job. So yeah, it's 101 different ways to make money. It covers money mindset. So psychology hacks you can use to think bigger about money. Chapter 2 is all personal finance. So taxes, debt, credit cards, everything you can think of. Chapter 3 is making money. So raises, negotiations, promotions, side hustles. 4 is all about investing. So real estate, stock market, retirement. And then 5 is about lifestyle. So it's talking with your partner, saving for your kids, and all of those other pieces. So yeah, I hope it's just hope in a book, like so much financial hope that you would find a million different ways to just love your finances more.
Yeah, and what I find interesting is, we're both women who talk about money and teach money, and both of our books have the 101 number in it. So I don't know about
Oh,
you.
that's funny. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so I still like to go to Barnes and Nobles. I'm a research person, so I'm looking at other
Yeah.
books, what are they teaching, and I look at the covers. And I still to this day am so drawn to books that have numbers on it. So, like this book
Yes.
I read about tax liens, it's called the 16% solution. It's just if there's a number on the cover, I'm likely going to pick it up. And that's just what draws me in.
Oh, I love that. I actually did a little bit of user testing on the book's cover, the name, and the narrative to see how it was landing with people. And one of the things that a woman said was that she figured if there are 101 ways, there's got to be at least a few that will work for her. And I thought that's really powerful too. When we see a big number, we think, okay, if there's that many options, there's got to be something in there for me.
Yeah, versus like a 7, right?
Yeah, you're like, maybe. I hope it'll work.
Yeah. So where's your book going to be available for the audience to purchase?
It'll be on Amazon.
Okay.
Yep, it is ready to go live any moment. So I've been sharing on social. I'll be posting it as soon as it's live. But yeah, it'll be available in both. You can get a paper copy or you can get a digital copy.
Awesome. I have a fun question for you off topic that I like to ask my guests. Um,
Yeah,
you could have a superpower or super talent. What would it be and why?
that one is so hard. I feel like it's changed over the years, from I wish I could fly to I wish I could be invisible. I think these days, I wish that we could download information into our brains, like lived experiences. If it would take you 10 years to learn this thing, to be able to download the wisdom of the person that has that much experience, it would just be incredible. I'm such a lifelong learner and always love learning as much as possible. So accelerating that learning process, I think would be really cool.
Yeah, teachers and coaches, usually lifelong learners too. So I understand
Yes,
that. The more that we learn, the more that we can download into our brains, the more we can share with other people.
exactly. Yeah.
Awesome, Annie. So if our audience wants to get in touch with you, learn more about your programs and how you can help them, what's the best way they can reach you?
Yeah, you can go to my website. It's money-essentials.com, or you can find me on Instagram at Build Wealth with Annie. And yeah, those are the two best spots. I also do free consultations. So if anyone's interested in just finding out if we're a good fit for coaching, I'm all about making sure that we're a good fit before investing money, because again, I'm a money coach, so I want you to make the most of your money. So yeah, those are the two spots to find me.
Awesome. Yes, audience, if you're paying attention, we love everything free. So if you're interested, definitely reach
Yes.
out to Annie and see how she can help you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for your time today.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for listening to Empower Her Money podcast. I am grateful for you. Please make sure to leave us a 5-star review, like this podcast, share it, subscribe, and let's keep teaching others how to take control and be empowered with their finances.